This video is not made for kids. I will be showing you dangerous tools or toxic materials that are potentially hazardous. Children should not have access to these, and please remember to use proper safety techniques. Hope you enjoyed this video. Woo! Hey everyone, it's me, Useful Ninja 11.
Long time no see.
Yes, I am back after, well, quite a while. I mean, it's been a while since I've last filmed a video where I'm, fully in screen where you guys can see me and I'm, talking to you guys. I mean, I didn't even do that for my update video this year. But I'm desperately trying to get back into the swing of things. Yes, I've been feeling lazy and not wanting to make like anything. But, we're gonna try to get back to how things, used to be in a way. So I figured what better way to get back into the swing of things of filming myself in front of the camera again is, an episode of my tutorial series, Useful Tips, which I have not made an episode of that. Like, wait, hold on. How long? What do you mean it's been 2 years? Oh my gosh. Shoot. The last time I made an episode of this series, it was 2023. And I've only made 2 episodes of that series so far. Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, I guess it's about time I start explaining now. So basically, what this series is, it's kind of like Heisel Hints, or more or less it's inspired by Heisel's, little tutorial series. But, in his, it was about making sets. Mine's about doing literally anything to everything in terms of Wooden Railway related and Thomas related at the same time, But yeah, so, I started the series off in 2023. However, once 2024 hit, the thing is, I was going to make an episode of the series in 2024. But with all the other content I produced during that time, there was just no room to squeeze it in. That alongside with filming for the CSC as well. And also, whatnot. So, and then 2025, I was like, oh, well, I'll just squeeze an episode of the series this year. Let's just say in 2025, my life got turned and flipped upside down. So, yeah. And then, of course, fast forward to this year where, I've barely made anything so far. Heck, the yearly collection video hasn't even come out this year, which I'll make a YouTube post about it sometime, either before or after I produce this video. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so basically what this episode is going to be about. So, obviously, the first 2 episodes, from what I can recall, were basically very simple, like customizing like loads, for your rolling stock, and basically teaching you how to pull engines on strings without the strings being seen. I intentionally wanted those episodes to be simple so that once we got into episode 3, we could do something harder. And this will definitely be harder. So what we are going to be doing is, got a little example. Here's this white wheeled Vernaeus, which I think I've shown off already. I'm hoping I have. If not, this would be awkward. Now, thankfully, this isn't the normal one. It's the surprise face variant. What we're going to do, I'm going to teach you guys ways how to take wooden railway faces off. Yeah. It's being held on by blue tack, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the whole body, so I'm just keeping the face on it in the meantime. So yeah, we're going to be taking off wooden railway faces. So basically I'm going to go through the steps on basically what you guys will need and everything. So yeah, let's get to it. So, to start off this process, you're going to need a few things. First, you're going to need an X-Acto knife and blade, a hammer, a pair of gloves, a container to hold the faces in, and of course, you're going to need, most importantly, your engines. The reason you're going to want a container is especially mainly for the reason that anytime I've taken off faces, any, brute force can send them flying. So obviously this keeps them in the general area. The engines we're going to be using for this demonstration are a Learning Curve Henry and the Wooden Railway 2015 Ryan. Reason why is because sometimes taking off faces is easy, but sometimes it's not as easy as you think. First, we're going to start off with Henry. Basically, when taking off Learning Curve faces, it's really quite easy, as obviously they slip into the smoke box with pins. So obviously, the best part is, either getting those loose or just chopping them off. Now, you don't need the hammer for this, really. All you just need is your X-Acto knife and blade. Although, I understand that the X-Acto knife I'm using isn't the actual X-Acto, but you get the gist. Isn't before long before the faces is off, and it's quite easy. Sometimes I used to use electrical pliers to take these faces off. However, they never really, did much for me. Sometimes when I would take off faces, they would create indents in the face. So that's why I switched to using the X-Acto blade and knife. But that is pretty, all there is to it. However, Ryan is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. So for taking off Mattel faces, all you need is the blade and the hammer. First thing you're going to want to do is, wiggle the blade in between the face and the smoke box. Then after it's nice and secure, obviously put the engine up against the barrier of the container. And then just start hammering at it. Though, obviously, be careful when doing this. By the way, I didn't put it on the list because I don't think you'll really need them, but maybe have safety goggles handy just in case. And with that, Ryan's face is off. Taking off Mattel faces is a huge pain in the butt, but it is, satisfying when you do. And with that, that's basically all there is to it. And now the faces and the engine bodies are ready to be used for whatever customs you desire. And with that, guys, that's basically how I do it and, take Wooden Railway faces off. Like I said, I used to do it with electrical pliers at first, but, that method just wasn't really working with me. It worked sometimes, didn't work all the time. And, thankfully, now I've found a decent method, and hopefully, you guys can, do it too. Of course, I wouldn't recommend, if you're like 13 or under, if you're like 15 and under, I don't recommend doing this, but if you are 15 and over, then I'm sure you'll be safe and, know the proper techniques and whatnot. Yeah. Obviously, I put the disclaimer at the beginning of this video, so hopefully we should be fine. But yeah, that's basically it for this episode. I have many more episodes planned, but I don't know when the next one will be. Obviously, after what recently was my update video, there was, there's a lot of other kinds of videos I desperately need to start making, as I feel like I'm just rehashing the same ideas over and over. So hopefully this is a nice fresh video for you guys after me being kind of just MIA for months. But, again, hope you all enjoyed. So without further ado, Useful Engine 11 signing out. Take care, everyone, and hope to see you all in the next video sooner rather than later.